Okay, good evening, everyone. Let's see. Just a minute, please. Let me be sure. Okay, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Apologies for the on and off. Just had some connection difficulties, but I think we're good now. Yeah. Okay. So I will just All right. Yeah. You're good. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Yes. I will just want to do a quick recap of our journey so far, how we use that to settle in. Okay, so the entire week we're trying to cover two things: value proposition and product marketing itself. That is, marketing the value your product has to offer. And like we have said, as a product manager, the bulk of your work rests on the value your product provides to your market. Okay, so if your product provides the right value, if your product provides the right value, it will be easy to sell. A lot of times, value becomes an issue on your product because, selling becomes an issue on your product because of the value of the product. And we said whatever did not come from the market can never go to the market. Do you understand? So, whatever is not informed by the need of your market, either by the present future needs, cannot go to the market. So we took you through the three C's. If you can recall, anyone in the comment section, what were the three C's we talked about? The three C's we talked about quickly before we move into other segments. Okay, your customer, your company, your competition, and I added a 4C. I added another C at the end. Anyone there can remember that I said because you have weakness, another fourth C was introduced. Yes, yes, collaboration. Thank you, Olafemi. Collaboration. I mean, and that's where you have. And I said you can collaborate. And let me see. We showed you a few things. Can many of you still recall this particular slide? I hope it opens. Where we're talking about weaknesses. That's for what's the name of the product again? We're talking about weaknesses for Rictan. Yes, Rictan. We're talking about weaknesses for Rictan, and we discussed points at which Rictan can collaborate. We talked about the tailor on the go, and we talked about two things. We talked about technology. We talked about investor relations, venture capitalists, and all of that. You know, and of course, and for you to understand your consumers, we showed you a bit of data, right? How you get your data from the market, how you can do your research to understand what your market needs. For you to understand your company, we said we do SWOT analysis, right? SWOT analysis. And for you to understand your competition, your competitive environment, we talked about Porter's five forces, right? I believe, can anyone list the Porter's five forces in the comment section? I believe you would all know that already. I don't want us to forget these things. That's why I always have to go back to them. The Porter's five forces quickly. Porter's five forces. Are you there? Yes, I want to be sure you're all in class and then you always get these things. Yeah. So that SWOT analysis. Then for you to understand your competition, we talked about the Porter's five forces. Okay, that's number one. You mentioned one, bargaining power of suppliers. You have bargaining power for who? Okay, no. Threat of new entrants. That's very good. I have seen two. Bargaining power of buyers. I've seen three. We have two more to go. Someone said you cannot hear anything. Bargaining power. I think you should check your volume. I'm clear. I've confirmed on YouTube just now. I'm quite clear. Bargaining power of buyers. Yes, we have two more. Threat of substitute products. Good. Then we have the first one I mentioned. The first one exactly. Okay. Let me just help you on this call. So the first one we mentioned was simple, and not just threat of new entrants. We talked about rivalry among existing competitors. Thank you, Favor. That's exactly what we're talking about. So quickly, um, we concluded that your value proposition is that which has already managed your competitors, manage your customers, manage the company, and manage collaborators. That's how you know your. That's how you know you have value you're bringing to the market. So many of you are here. Again, I want you to write your product and introduce your product again quickly so that in the journey today, I can pick a product along. Thank you. Okay, so we are seeing some products here. Home Assist. So when you mention your product, try to explain it in the same chat because there's several chats going on at the same time. So we can't be scrolling to read your chat. So as much as possible, mention your product and in the same chat, describe what your product is about quickly. So let me just assume I've not seen any product so far. Because whatever product we pick, that is what we work with in this class. And I always need that so that it can be home to you, it can be natural. So just type your product name and everything in line with it quickly. Engineer, I need the name and then you describe it. Please let's do that. The name of your product and the description. So far I've not seen one. If you put it in different chats, please do it all over again. I need it in one single chat so I can piece it up, piece it together. We're waiting. Okay, good. So I work with the FarmHub, an application that helps connect farm owners, farm produce buyers, and farm labor. Okay, so FarmHub, you want to connect application, you want to connect farm owners, um, farm laborer. Okay, those that want to work on the farm. Okay, and you want to connect them to buyers. Okay, that's pretty much about it, and it's good. So yours is more of an agri-tech kind of solution. Um, okay, make a lot of sense. Farm Hub. So let's think about your product. You want an application that helps connect farm owners, farm produce buyers, and farm laborer. So on that application, people that want to buy will be able to use the application and they have their own login. That is one. People that are laborers that are looking for farms to work on will have their own, environment on that application as well. Who else is going to have something? Okay. Farm owners will be able to connect to both buyers. They'll be able to connect to buyers and they'll be able to connect to artisans who wants to work on farm. So that's very good. Let's begin into this. This works for me for the class. So let's go to what we call segmentation, which is what I just did. Let's move on. Segmentation. So under marketing, we're going to discuss three things: STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. We have a long way to go today, so very fast. We're discussing segmentation, we'll be discussing targeting, and we're discussing positioning. Segmentation simply looks at what are the wants of each set of similar customers. For instance, on FarmHub, you have similar customers but different sets. For instance, you have farmers. All your farmers are in a particular segment. Let me see who has FarmHub so I can. Okay, Bakari Olajumoke. One of your in your segment. See, you need to know your segment for you to target, and then when you target right, then you will now look at your positioning. Let me use some linking arrows on this particular slide for us to see what I'm saying. Just a minute. Let me get an arrow. Let me get an arrow. Let me just link them by arrow so that we can understand that they connect. That's what we're supposed to do. So if you can segment your customers properly, now don't forget what I always say. Please don't treat this class as just another thing to learn. You have your product idea. As I'm teaching you, ensure that your product is in your mind. Translate it to your product immediately. Okay? Translate it to your product immediately so you can work with it. So don't just learn for the sake of maybe certificate. Ensure that whatever product you're working on, okay, Canvas already exists. I hope you know. Maybe Zengwe. Canvas is an edu solution already. There's an edutech solution called Canvas. Yes, and it's being used globally by major schools. So you wouldn't want to reinvent the wheel, especially not even with the name. We are talking of a new product you are thinking of, another idea you're bringing to the market. Okay, moving on. So, Olajumoke, you're working on FarmHub. We're looking at segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Okay, so what you want to do first is to segment. What you want to do is to segment. Let's go. I will show you one thing before I come back. So, segmentation. Segmentation is the process of dividing a company's target market into groups with similar needs and behaviors. Let's go to our whiteboard. Are you guys with me? So let's look at FarmHub, okay? We're looking at FarmHub. So let's ask ourselves a question. What are the audience that you think FarmHub may have? Affiliate marketing is not a product idea except you're building a platform for the marketing. You can Google Investo, that's what they do. You can Google Invest, you can Google Coin Journal. They are both companies. What they do is they are affiliate marketing platforms for crypto companies. You can check Invest, INVEZZ, then Coin Journal. Those are affiliate marketing products that were built for, you know, they were built for crypto affiliate marketing. So you can check them out. So let's work with FarmHub today, guys. Is that okay? Let's work with FarmHub today. And so FarmHub, we wanna okay. So let's look at the kind of target market FarmHub we have. Are you with me? Let's look at the kind of target market FarmHub we have. Okay, number one, thank you, Mr. Slim. You have said farmers. Now, when we get to personal, we'll deal with that. Now we've said farmers. Farm product is not a market now. Farm product is the item. We're looking at target markets. Market women, God bless you. Olayinka, market women, shopping mall, okay. Malls, that's good. That's good. Malls, laborers, yes. We are going further. Marketers, not really, not really. Sellers of farm equipment, okay. The product I try to go that OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. Let me put Greek OEMs. Okay. What else do you have? Restaurants. See, your segmentation must be perfect because now you are looking at marketing. Okay, general consumers, which is not no. Okay, but let's put that there. That's a valid point. Let's stop here. You can do more FarmHub on your own. You can do more. So now that we are here, okay. Now that we're here, let's stop here. Okay. Now that we're here, you have different segments. It is possible you can move your segment together. It will also show how you want to push your marketing. For instance, you're looking at farmers. How do you want to communicate to farmers? I don't want to jump, but when we get to persona, we'll start dealing with that. Canteens will work with restaurants, okay? Now, you want to communicate. So these are the kind of people that are interested in your product. These are the consumers. So, restaurants, in the restaurant, who are you talking to there? You're talking to probably the CEOs or the operation managers. Okay? You know, those you are trying to connect. Sorry, please, let's not talk about any product anymore. Whatever product you have, just be working on it with this. Let's keep this with the class so that we can move forward. Thank you. So you're looking at farmers, you're looking at farm manager, and that's cool. So segmentation is you describing your target, dividing your target market into groups with similar needs and behaviors. Moving on, I said you can't be everything to everyone. I was telling somebody earlier the other time that you can't solve every problem. So people have different needs. For example, young families have different motoring needs. Let's say it's a car. For example, farming. Young families have different farming needs. Again, people are demographically different. Their age, their gender, their race, and people behave in different ways. Boomers, Gen Zs, early risers, savers, spenders, those who care about price, those who don't care about the price. High income earners, low income earners. So segmentation means you're looking at, for instance, let's say a car. Okay, let's say a car. But let me not even waste time on this so that I can just take you on this particular product. Now, if Chevrolet has all of these three products, okay, you can zoom your YouTube to see it. They have all these three, they have all these products for different target audience. Now, they have the Chevy truck. That one is available for those who just want to move goods up and down. And those ones are very price sensitive. So for this Chevy, they may not release new models. They may not release new models, right? For this Chevy, they may not release new models. They may not do anything because people just want to carry load. So you don't want to increase price or anything. Just let them be using it. Those that want to use it, that it will target, maybe no, not young and out of college, maybe truck owners, maybe people that are interested in moving things left and right, even farmers. But they still have another product again. Maybe people that are like large family owners. So, for you as a product manager, understanding your audience will also help to know the value that works for them. Let me move on. Let me not waste time here. Now, I want to speak to something briefly. By the time you've segmented your audience, the next thing that includes targeting. Targeting. Just a minute, please. Let me pull up this particular Figma again. Now, if I may ask you, there's a question they used to ask, and I will ask you guys on this call. Can you estimate the number of users for this application? I need that in the comment section. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm waiting. No, at least 10, no. At least 10 million users, no. Because the word targeting, how many of you have done targeting on ads on Instagram? Like, if you launch this app, what is your idea of number of users you have in mind that you are targeting? Okay, so you cannot just say more than 5 million. As a product manager, you need to be number conscious. One of the problems we always say is wrong with us as a continent is we have number issues. People just throw numbers up and down. So let's start. This is how to calculate it. Your estimation must be intelligent. Number one, let's start with the number of farmers do you think we have in Nigeria? Number of registered farmers in Nigeria. Can we get a number? Number of registered farmers in Nigeria. Because we have mentioned the audience now. Those are part of the audience. So currently, there are about 38 million farmers in Nigeria. Currently. So if there are 38 million farmers, that's one of our points, right? Good. We are now looking at number of malls in Nigeria. By the time you check number of malls in Nigeria, according to numbers, not too much. We have about 106 malls. So, of course, 38 million is still okay. Do you understand what we're doing? Malls and market to cover your consumers. So, if you want to extrapolate, if the same farmers are the same as marketers, that's 38 plus 38, that's 76. So, if you say 76 million, roughly, you should be able to know that, okay, your total, there are 6 layers of knowing your targetable market. And I'm going to show us here. Just a minute. Let's do this together. 66,000 more, 6,600 more. Okay, that's good. So, but roughly, we still have 38 million for farmers. If we use the same number for maybe consumers as well, another 38 million plus malls, 1 million, all over 78 to 80 million max. So that's how to extrapolate numbers, okay? But now let's look at something we call markets, okay? We must understand the concept. Targeting will help you if you understand the concept of market sizing. How many of you have heard the concept of market sizing before? Market sizing. Okay? Hmm. What we have done so far, sorry, let me change this font. I want you to understand this thing very well. So what we have done so far is to say that generally we can say that 80 million people. And how did we arrive at that? 38 million farmers, right? 38 million farmers plus, okay, let's say the same thing, 38 million market women, right? Plus maybe malls plus, okay, those that want to work, let's say just 10 million. If there is let's look at number of unemployed youths in Nigeria, number of unemployed youths, and with you, sorry, um, what else? Number of unemployed youths. What's the number, guys? Okay, 5.7 million registered farmers. Okay, number is coming down. Exactly, total addressable market. Thank you, Olayinka Otun. We will break everything by addressable and all of that and break it down to the minimal so that you will see where many of us used to have issues. Okay? Sorry. So we are changing our numbers. Somebody said that about 5.6 million. So let's just say 6 million. Then we use the same thing for market women, another 6 million. What else do we have? How many unemployed youths do we have in Nigeria? I need that number in the comment section quickly. Unemployed in Nigeria. Not just the rate, I need the number. Um, Unemployed number in Nigeria. We're trying to get number of those that will be able to use that application, okay? We're trying. I've not seen the number yet. Okay, 3% of our population is about 200 million. What's 3% of 200 million? That's maybe 6.7 million ish. A bit 3 over 100 times 200. Yeah, that's just 6. Maybe a 6M. Maybe a 6M. Let's work with 6M. Another 6M for unemployed youths. Okay, which we can say they become our laborers automatically. If we add underemployed, maybe 10M. So altogether, our market sizing now that we can address, that we feel like we can address, is 20 million. Is that okay? The problem with many people when marketing a product, I hope we can finish market sizing before we go on break because our work is still plenty. The problem with many people is that they assume that this is their market. No, in market sizing, this is just your total addressable market. Can someone say what that? Can someone tell me what that means in the comment section? I'm waiting. That's just your total addressable market. Whoever did not know how we came about the figures, I've already missed this class. So it's simple. We are trying to estimate. Is a FarmHub application. So just check the number of those who are farmers. We've already see the target audience here now. We look at what those numbers can give us. Because some people will just say, you think that your application is for anybody in the world can use it. You think your application is for all farmers enough? No. Deal with what you know is easy to target. No. So that's how we got our numbers. We added numbers for farmers, for market women, unemployed people in Nigeria. We put that together. Okay. Total addressable market. I'm still waiting for all of you. I've not still seen an application on it. Oh. I need more. I need more. I need more. The maximum size of the opportunity for a particular product or solution. Let me use in quick terms for you. When we say total addressable market, it's just the entire demand for a product service in a given market. When we say, and for instance, let me say, if you are building a ride, let's say a ride hailing app, your total addressable market will be like global transportation market. For instance, now, like this 20 million, this market for agriculture around agricultural goods is this is market for agriculture could be maybe everybody in Nigeria using agricultural goods. So of course, our total addressable market can be 200 million. But what we have done with segmentation, we can see that our number is on 20 million, even though it is exaggerated. But this 20 million is now what we will go ahead and call, let me remember, there's this term, serviceable available market, SAM. Okay? Serviceable available market. Some people will call it TSAM, that is total serviceable available market. But okay, so what we have done is to get the serviceable available market. What does this mean? The portion of the serviceable available market is like, let me show you. Let me do it this way. If this is your where's my, okay, let me pick a shape. Can you still see my screen? Please. This stress is so that you all can get it too. I don't want anybody to be looking like you didn't get it. So if this is your, let's say this is your term, let's say this is your total addressable market. Okay? Term. Oh boy. Mm, let's say this is your total addressable market. Just a minute. Now, what you have here is like your typical, let me write it here, term. Huge. So this is your term, total addressable market. They are like everybody in that country. And I'm putting everybody in Nigeria because all of us need agricultural goods. But now, what we have done with this 20 million is to look for the serviceable available market. They are like smaller version of your term. They are within your term, but they are not your term. So this is SAM. By SAM now, we're now looking at, sorry guys, I just wanted you to get it. Because if I explain, I can easily do that. But I know that if I do this, people, you will not forget again. So this is your total addressable market. What we have done with this search is to look for serviceable and available market. What does that mean? We're looking at the portion of the term targeted by your product or services that aligns with your business model or geographical scope. You see that's why we do not target everybody in the world. By SAM, what we have done with, okay, SAM was looking like, sorry, I want you to get it. SAM was looking like 200 million, right? What we have done with SAM now is that we have now, by SAM, we have about just 20 million. Do you understand? By SAM, we have just 20 million. I don't want you to, because there's still one more. So, as a product marketer, your mind, this, you may not even need to do this thing. Of course, there are ways to calculate it. You can do it on the table, it can be seen. But what you are trying to do is to know that, okay, at all, who should my market be addressing? You must understand these three. Your serviceable available market, for instance, now let's say it's Uber you are doing. We have already reduced it to those you can service. Now, that's not enough. We need to now look at, there's still another one again. We are cutting it down. Now, within that SAM, we want to look at, are we growing it? They are good to go. This is where a product manager should focus on heavily. We call it SOM. SOM is serviceable, obtainable market. Serviceable and obtainable market. What does that mean? Now, these are your realistic markets that you can capture in a short-term medium within your resources, within your competition, given your strategy. Okay? For example, this particular number may go down to, if possible, 2 million. It may go down to 2 million if you want to stay within your sum. So, and why were you able to do this? Let me tell you something about what we have done. You won't be able to do this thing I did if you have not done your targeting. If you have not, what we did there is, segmentation. If you have not done your segmentation, you cannot be able to understand things like term, SAM, and SUM. So know your total admissible market. In that total admissible market, not all of them are serviceable. For instance, they are doing a farm application. Even if you say everybody should download it, those that are never interested in, and I see what you have done. For you to have picked malls, you have addressed consumers. Because consumer will be buying, farmers will not be interested to be selling to everybody. You cannot want to order 5 tubers of yam from one farm in Osun State when you're in Lagos. You won't want to do that. So you may not see the need for the app. But a market woman, and that knocked you out of the market. But by you picking market women can try to order 100 tubers. Some SOM, SOM, SOM. There was no SUM, SOM. Serviceable and obtainable market. people that you know that you can easily target in the shortest time. It's under market sizing in when we talk about digital strategy. Okay, so um these are the no see when you say sum, that's the actual amount of the market. That's the actual amount of your market. And for you to let me move let's move on. I believe market sizing. You can always explore more market sizing. Um, let's look at another framework called the MAADS framework. I said we're looking at another way to size your market is using the MAADS framework. The MAADS framework, you are checking what is measurable, what is accessible, what is actionable, what is differentiable, and what is substantial. For measurable, we are saying, can we estimate the size of the segment or the size of the market in each segment? And that's what we've tried to do. For farmers, please pay very much attention to this class and ensure you write your notes. You will get your slides, that's not the big deal, but it's not, if you see most training slides is not are not in it's not what do we call it, it's not a guarantee because it's still an intellectual property. Do you understand? However, pay keen attention and please ensure that you take your notes, especially if you're using it on the product you're currently building that we give you idea on, so that we'll not just have because it's common people attend many classes and they just collect slides and then they dump it somewhere. So please don't miss now because you think you get a slide to work on later. You obviously get your slides, but it's best to pay all the attention you have now. Thank you. So moving on, measurable. Can we estimate the size of the segment of or the market in each segment? So when you have broken down your product to different segments, the next thing you do is to estimate the size for each one. FarmHub, you have said farmer, estimate the size. Market women, estimate the size. Malls, estimate the size. Laborers, estimate the size. Agri OEMs, estimate the size. Restaurants, estimate the size. Okay? Ensure that you estimate your sizes. Moving on, is there a way to reach this segment? That's how to assess this. If all you got is this framework, I'm okay. By the time you have used your measurable and your market sizing techniques to get your numbers, next thing you check how to access them. Is there a way to reach each segment? You see, as a product marketer, do not be rigid. So let me ask you, under accessible, how do you reach your farmers? Let's start with the first person. Your product has launched. How do you reach farmers as a product marketer? We have 5 minutes before the break, so I'm waiting. How do you reach farmers? Quickly, 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 quickly. Organize meetings, be flexible. So it's simple. You can work to your local government chairman if your company has money, and then you can gather all the farmers. You will have to do a lot of physical stuff to meet with farmers. You can't do that by online. A lot of physical stuff, or maybe you can create a place where people can register as agents, where they can buy from the farm using your whichever way. I don't want to do product thinking today. I'm just going straight into marketing. So you have to think of the market strategy for farmers, and whatever market strategy is too stressful for you, maybe whatever segment is too careful for you, you may just knock them off and put energy on another segment. So people like farmers, because you are creating farm hub, see, it's only things like other parts of tech that appear easy. But when you are taking tech into marketing, into markets, not just marketing, when you are putting tech into agriculture, when you are putting tech into education, it's very holistic. This one, you're no longer talking software, you're talking entire business. So you must know how to target your farmers and have a marketing mix for that. You will draw a separate marketing strategy for those farmers. Draw a separate strategy, marketing strategy for each of you. You see, if you understand the way targeting works, you will not have the same communication for each person. Let me tell you, it's as good as Rolls Royce made you their marketer. Rolls Royce, you now went to carry billboard, not just billboard. You now did billboard. You spent about 200 million to do billboards, and you go and put billboards in Osun State or Ekiti for Rolls Royce. Have you done your target audience properly? I'm from Ekiti, don't worry for those who are angry. It's only clear that your target audience was wrong, and the way to access your audience for Rolls Royce was wrong, and that's why you went to go and put plenty billboard inside Ekiti. So you must your match framework must be well done. For instance, the next one in the match framework is actionable. That is, can we create a marketing mix to act on the segmentation strategy and communicate? Can we create a marketing mix for them? Can we? Again, differentiable. Will the segment respond differently to different marketing stimuli? You are still testing your segment. The match framework can help you test your segment, and it can also help you to go to your segment. Then finally, substantial. This is where you will judge it, because all this stress, if that particular segment is just going to give you 50 people, you better leave them alone. I said there are 50 important people anyways, because each 50 top farmers on your application is bigger than, if you have 50 big malls on your application, that's a big one. So be careful how you measure substantial. If it's just 50 university students who are downloading your app to come and be ordering apple and orange, please leave them alone. They are not, you may not need to stress yourself on those ones. So know those that are important to your product. Okay? And when you have known that, we cannot discuss different marketing strategies towards them. And we will discuss that when you come back from your break. But please, as you go to the break, please let's be back very quick. Our class resumes by 8:05 so that we can finish up. We have a long way to go. And let's come back with all the energy so that we can finish very fast. Thank you very much. See ya, 8:05. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So, moving on quickly. So, we talked about different marketing strategies. Okay, so there is mass market approach where you can offer the same product to large groups. Do that. Mass market, Instagram, everything as much as possible. Whatever. Everybody must download your app. Now, let me speak to something we didn't speak to earlier. Let me come here. This is supposed to affect your value proposition. This is supposed to affect your value proposition. For instance, I don't want anyone to feel like you're missing out. Let me just hold on a bit. So we are 73 in class. I would give us a minute for us to come in more. So by 8:08, I will continue. Okay, so let's move on. Thank you. Yes, we've taken that minutes break to wait for everyone. So I want us to move back because this is also going to be live on YouTube. For you to market, you're talking about one product now. For you to market this product to this audience, there are some things you must note. FarmHub, you see, the reason why you a product manager must have product marketing sense is so that when you are building, you must know what your audience can enjoy. The way we showed you that Chevrolet has three different people to three different audience, yours you only have one product. Of course, if you now have the money, you can decide to build different product for different audience if that works for you. But in this case, you must have features that each audience can enjoy. Okay? So segmenting your market also helps to increase your value proposition. I'll leave it at that. So you look at an application. Okay, if farmers want to use this application, how can the application work for them? That thinking alone will help you to create some features or some functionalities that makes things easy for farmers. Do you understand? That alone will do some things. You're thinking of market women, that alone will do some things. You're thinking of people at the mall, you're looking at some other features. And if your product be more than an application, then so be it. if there has to be maybe physical products, maybe the way you have ATM machines, like banks, fintechs now. Banks have application on your phone, don't they? You all download the applications, but there's a physical bank too. There's a physical bank, there's ATM machine. So where product management is that you must be able to think through anything it that is needed for you to solve that problem. It's a problem you are trying to solve, right? You're not just trying to build an application. You are trying to solve a problem. So if your solution to that problem goes beyond the application you're supposed to build, then go for it. Of course, the application is your core. That's where you are strong. Wherever you need to, maybe farmers tell you, this is not just about application. No, we need to be able to weigh our goods. We need to be able to have something. Maybe you now need to now produce kiosks. When you say kiosks, like all these digital weight and measuring devices, the people might need to pack their food on their farm. Maybe you can do that. Maybe they can need to put that two, three per community, whichever way, so that people can weigh their goods before they now, okay, maybe you now need to be looking at building warehouses. Like, Jumia now. Jumia was an application, but now they have warehouses, they have logistics. So you must be very deep in your thinking and to know the part that each side of your product will solve. God bless you. You want to use application to solve what logistics will solve, you'll fail at it. So you must be able to think deeply to which area, because those things will now affect the metrics of the application. Farmers are not using it. Why? There are no warehouses. They are now looking at storage. You may now need to partner. Okay, is there anybody that does good storage in this country? I'm building this application. No, do you mind if we partner together so that whoever wants to clinic or want to sell through our applications, we have these storage facilities in their state or in their local government area that they can use? You can partner with a logistics company too. Okay, if people order, anytime you see any other player on the application, you are the one that will do the delivery. Then you get stronger. Then that means logistics people become part of your segment, of your audience segment. And so your application was able to have features that works, like maybe farmers can be able to pick logistics persons they want to pick to deliver. And then people should be able to rate each person. Okay, this logistics person, he had two of my yam on the way. I rate you red, or I rate you 0. So when you are thinking of your market, it helps you to arrive at a better value proposition. That's why DSA put this week to be value proposition stroke market, because they are joined together. You can't really remove one from the other. So if you're building something that wants to solve marketing farmers' problem with an application, you must think of several other areas that can make your application work. Or farmers will just say, well, this is rubbish, Jerry. By the time they know they're okay, another thing is you might also need to look for investors. Maybe those ones that will work, okay, fine. Let's we even buy all the farm stuff. All these things are just English. Oh, by the time you get down to business, it may not be as I'm saying it. So please note that caveat. Because some people will be that, okay, how do I know which farm produce belongs to my own? Which one is mine? Which one is not mine? So maybe you now need to have money to, okay, I will even buy from all of you. So what you want to now do is to be like the one that does the buying. So okay, I want to buy all the yams in this state, buy everything. So you buy, and then they are in your warehouses, and they are safe, they are stored, and they are delivered all over. So a lot of things you have to think of, but you don't need to shift away from your core. Your core is an application. You can partner on those areas. You don't need to now distract yourself with those areas except you have the money. I'm just trying to tell you that your thinking as a product manager is about you being able to solve the problem you saw, not just building an application. That's why Money Point may say, okay, let's build this money stuff. Let people just be able to transfer money. But later, it's going to let's do payment gateway. Now, I think it's going for a microfinance bank license. So long as your problem still exists, your mind must be thinking through the solution that can deliver on it. Moving on. Okay. Now, we now move to the concept called building customer personas. This will help you target properly. And I'm gonna show you. Let's come here. Let's come here. Whew, this is a lot of work for me, but we'll do it. Let's do something together. It may take our time, but I'm happy to do it. There is something we call psychoanalysis. Okay, has anyone heard that word before? Psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis. I'm waiting. Okay, let me see. You could have heard it before now. Is a part of marketing that is not so loud, but is used in tech market space for you to understand what your audience is and the kind of marketing approach you can use that will shake them off. Okay, waiting. I'm seeing a lot of no and yes. Just go and check what it is first, because I won't go into all the definition. I want to go into how it works for FarmHub. So we'll just do it for FarmHub on our whiteboard, and then we'll see how it works. Quickly, theory of mind. Okay, I'm waiting. In psychoanalysis, what you're doing is you are trying to study your consumers beyond what is obvious. You guys can easily Google this thing. Oh. I'm seeing a lot of definition that is funny. There's no tool to analyze. It's your thing. The biggest tool you can ever think of is your brain. There's really no tool, but we'll get there. I want to show you something on this whiteboard. This is Figma that I'm using. It's just Figma. Behavioral analysis. Thank you. Simple. There's no need to be extra about it. We call them sometimes. You check their archetypes. So, for instance, let's start with this particular product. Okay, you know that there are some things called. I want to remember something about this product. This product is not a B2C, right? No, it's not a product where you have many users. And I will explain. There's something called. I'm stressing. This is not part of your class though, but you should know it because I was on outside. I'll pick FarmHub. So let's just go. Sorry. Mm. So there's something called B2B and B2C, but it's not really a big deal to us today. So I won't go far. B2B is when your business is to business. Okay, when your business is offering solution to businesses. Another one we have B2C when your business is offering solution to what? To customers directly, not businesses. For example, a B2B will be um, if you are producing textbooks, or no, let's say you are producing blackboards. Blackboards is students that will use it or teachers, but teachers may not buy directly from you. So you are selling directly to schools, which is another business. So if your business is going directly to another business, if your business is producing goods that your next business needs, then it's a B2B. Then if it's going directly to customers like biscuit, like cream, it's B2C. But this kind of product is a B2B to C. Okay? So it's a business that goes directly to business before it now goes to the customers. All of this thinking, I'm doing all of this stress so that you can know what you want to do as a product manager. So you are connecting farmers to buyers, and you can also connect buyers to farmers, or you can even connect buyers, farmers. Yes, you are connecting farmers to. You can also connect farmers to customers directly. So but then, as your application is at the beginning, you are the business connecting your farmers, sorry, to the customers. Just give me a minute, please. So, thank you. What this means is simple. You are looking at bulk produce buyers, which are the malls and market women, restaurants, hotels, individual customer. So let's do a kind of an analysis on our typo, on our typical user. Okay? Unconscious desires, fears, and motivation of consumers. Thank you, Onyola Oshodi. So let's work with a particular person that can work. Okay? Let me look for a 38-year-old, um, let's say businessman. Let's just deal with that person. Let's do a persona of our buyers. Let me get someone for us. We'll do it together today. In the next 10 minutes, we should be done with this. I just want a picture. Um, I don't want anybody. Um, I don't want you to give me face of somebody. I just want an AI image, basically. When I see someone that looks like what I want. Okay, okay, just a minute. Just hold on. Okay, let me use this guy. Let me use this guy. Back to my whiteboard. Okay, now I'm going to work with this guy, Hakim. So Hakim is a 30-year-old. Hakim will be. Um, let's work with Hakim, guys. Let's analyze Hakim. This is how to be buyer persona. Hakim would be maybe a 30. No, let's not go to the age yet. Step by step, we'll get there. So who is Hakim? How old do you think Hakim should be in Nigeria? We're analyzing this guy so that when you are speaking to your marketing team, they understand that you know who you are speaking to. So let's say Hakim is let's give him 45 years old. He farms, but now he also do a lot of farm investing. So let's call him farmer stroke distributor. These are typical user. Sorry, Dynamos 200. Yeah, he's a farmer stroke distributor. Okay, good. So this is who Hakim is. Now let's do some things about Hakim together. Also, does he have business? Or let's not even call him a business person. Maybe it may not work. Um, let's call him. He owns a food business. He owns a food business in where is the busy place in Lagos? Maybe Ikeja, even though I don't know if he's very busy. So that's his business. So uh, occupation. Are you guys following me? Let's do this together. Let's do it together. Food business in Ikeja. Yes. So we have gotten his age. Let's look at one thing. Okay. Does he like to use tech? Yes. Somebody said yes, yes, mid 40s. That's right. There's something they call tech savvy. Tech savvy. Tech savvy. That is, does he know how to use technology? Any answer? Anybody? Okay, somebody said first tag. Good, let me use first tag then. Guys, please let's be very fast. We're doing this together. Time is going. So technology. Let's say, well, he tries. He uses his WhatsApp. WhatsApp. He uses his mobile banking. Okay. What else? He uses Google Map whenever he drives. etc. So he's trying. To spoil. Okay. So we have gotten this for him. What else does he do? Yeah, so technology is moderate. Let's not give him basic. Moderate. So he can work with applications, at least to a large extent. What else are we looking at? Let's look at his goals in life. Okay? Let's look at his goals in life. Let's look at his goals in life. What do you think? Number one, his goal as related to this product, he wants fresh. Let's look at fresh quality produce at cooperative prices. What else are we looking at for his goal? He wants easy sourcing without visiting rural areas. Yes, what else? Supply reliability, or let me just call it reliable supply. What are his goals? So what we are doing is how to do a persona. It's not just an easy job. You must have done your start. You see, we have segmented. What we're doing now is to target them. We're targeting. Okay, value for money. Yeah. What's value for money? You have to break it down. It's too abstract. Quality produce to end users. He owns a business too. So we say farmer, farm distributor, and the food business owner. So somebody says quality. I want to create work. No, that goal does not align with our product. Healthy living, that it doesn't align with our product. Quality produce to end users, yes. So let's stop here together. What's the next thing to look at in buyer persona? Do this for your product, please. Don't sleep on this. Oh, Joe. So next thing, let's move further. I don't want it to be too long so that we can still see it. Now we're leaving goals. Let's look at his pain points. Is that okay? His pain points, see that things that pain him, things that are his issues. Pain points. We'll have somebody said market power. I think I'll put this there. This is a very good goal. Market power. He wants to be the best in the market. So that means we may have some features that have to do with sole distributor and so sub-distributor, in the sense that maybe if you want to be collecting produce and doing anything in Festac, you don't need to connect to FarmHub anymore. FarmHub will just tell you that, sorry, we have already partnered with Hakim. So if you want anything, you order directly from Hakim. And Hakim can now also fix his own price based on how he can win in the market, you know. So there's sole distributor. That's a good one for market power. It can also inform the features you build. So let's go to pain points, boy. Please, if you want to see my screen, you can just zoom. So what are the things that you think can pain that you think are issues so far that he wants to solve? I'm waiting. Unreliable supply. That's something. Just a minute. Unreliable supply chain logistics. Yes. By the way, what I'm using is Figma. For anyone who cares to know, I'm just using the Figma whiteboard. Yes. Middlemen, even though it's about to become one. Price fluctuations. Yeah. They wait. Low demand. I will take one more and we stop. Product quality. Thank you. That's the end. Now, as a marketer, as a product marketer for your product, what is this saying to you when you want to communicate? No, when you show your copywriter or your marketing team this, your copywriter knows what to write. He knows how to sell. He knows the things that should inform his copy. So you see, when people like your product, when they comment on your post or anything, these are the things you have done. So this week, my marketing plan, my copies, my emails I want to put out or anything, if I want to do events, you understand, these are the things that I'll be talking about. Now, Hakim or anybody that looks like him may not know what I've done, but if he's in that meeting and I'm talking, he will be listening better because I came to address his pain points. So beyond people's name, demography, psychoanalysis goes deeper into issues that affect them. Digitization, yeah, works. So it helps you to start seeing internally. Of course, it's still deeper than this. Let's look at one more thing. Sorry, I could have stopped, bro, because I know that many of you are also doing this for your products. So that's why I'm moving more so that you can just get it. Let's go to his buying behavior. How do you think this kind of person buys things? Let me ask. This person will like, it will be this kind of person will be loyal to consistent suppliers. True or false? Because he has a store, he runs, this person will, okay, his pain points is delayed delivery. Makes sense. So this kind of person, his buying behaviors is like he sees products before he pays. That's for new clients. The reason he sees his product because he has a shop, he has a restaurant, there is known, he's not running away. So you are the one who needs to prove yourself to him if you're a new client, not him. So he would like to see what he wants to buy before he pays. This person's buying behavior too, I'm suspecting he may have a bad behavior of not paying completely, not paying early enough. This person may be someone that will wait for you till you finish selling the food or you finish selling before he buys. Okay, surveys before buying. And not just surveying. He also not just the goods, he does it for the goods and the sellers. So that means your application will be able to provide a place where you can see the goods and also see the kind of farmer, what everybody has been saying about him, and all of that. Somebody said face to face buying. Thank you. That means if your application is to have a video call feature, so that if somebody wants to buy, you can schedule a call with the farmer and you guys will have a session online or whatever before you do the buying. But all of these, you are knowing who your target. Now, don't forget that for some people already thinking it's simple. That's why I said we do one. Don't forget that I only picked farmer out of our segmentation. We still have a long way to go. But you can see that the way we have been coming, if you have been doing everything we have been doing since day one, do you know the number of features your product would have had by now? So imagine if you repeat this for market women, for somebody that looks like a manager at the mall, you do the same thing for laborers, for agri-co AMs, general customers or logistics. By the time you have done your persona for each of them, you're going to have a very strong product. It will be hard for your product to launch and not get into the market. The only thing is that your product may now have features that looks quite hard to build. By the time we get to next week, we will show you how you can prioritize, how you can write your requirement documents. We go deeper into the tech part of that product itself. So because you have 100 features does not mean you build them all at once. But it's not for this week. By next week, my colleague will put you through on that. And product management is quite wide. That's why we have different people taking different sessions so that we don't exhaust one person. And I'm saying that not so we give ourselves that cool label, so you can know how much you really need to know and have to learn and be ready to commit to these coordinates. Moving on, we have checked buying behavior. Can we still check more? Let's look deeper. What is his core motivation? Someone like this. Let's look deeper into him. Let's study this guy. Now we say we want to do psychoanalysis. Core motivation. Don't worry. Marketing is what I'm showing you now will help you to core motivation for this one will be like control, will be like profit, of course, relationship. Yes, market power will be here too. Market power, everything you want. Motivation, yeah, negotiation. So that means your your application may need to have a price negotiation feature, just like sorry, just like you have for InDrive. Let's stop there. Should we go deeper? Okay, somebody said discounts. No, discounts works for him. So if you say, you know that when you're on applications, if a shoe is 5,000, if you pick five, it's 25,000. So your application may have sort of price fixing such that if you pick five, there should be a way that the person will have discounts on the price. You are going deeper. By the time you put, okay, let me not go too much. We're looking at in subconscious, you can go deeper. You can look into, for instance, you can look into, there are still more core motivations. You're looking of, yes, status. These people, you want to be, imagine you're in first stack, everybody knows you as distributor, anything farming, this guy can supply you. Especially if he's in fact, that's if he's a king. If I change his name to maybe Adebayo now, you should know he wants to rule that place. If anybody that's in this kind of place, let me still leave his name. It doesn't matter. But sometimes if you want to do your things well, you can even look at what appeals to each tribe. Is market is data. See, people that have sense, they use this data. Oh. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think Facebook has all your data? You greet somebody today, you see the thing. You are gisting to a friend about a shoe. They are showing you shoes. All your subconsciousness, everything you have tried. Because why? They believe that everything you are trying to do, the way Bible says, they used to say in the Holy Book somewhere that out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks. Yeah. So everything you think you say, you do is a reflection of your desire. So what these people have done is, even if you looked at a watch on Instagram, you stay on that. It's just a picture that should take maybe a second for you to scroll, but you took 5 seconds on that picture. Even if you did not buy a watch, even if you don't want a watch, your extra 5 seconds on that feature has indicated desire. Your extra 5 seconds on that, thank you. Your extra 5 seconds on that picture has indicated desire. So that's like a psychoanalysis. They check, okay, you either want this thing, it's either you don't have money enough, or you have enough watches for now, or it looks like one of your watch, or you feel like gifting someone a watch. That's what the algorithm does. Based on your behavioral data. In fact, if you get into people that do cybersecurity today, cybersecurity study behavioral, such that if your application camera works, if they notice if you are the someone who normally types your password, maybe 1 second you are done, 1 second you are done, and then this time notice that somebody typed that password and then it was too fast or too slow. What this is not a cybersecurity class anyway. I don't take that. I don't know much of that. What it does is it already knows that your behavior, then it can study other things. Then immediately it start checking location, it start checking everything. Do you understand? Some, in fact, I know of products that we check the height of the person. It has a way of checking height. This person, whenever he lifts up the phone to press password, it's always at this level. Currently, that level has increased. I know a solution like that. Banks are currently buying that security. So everybody is going into studying underlying behaviors. So you can go as far as you can go. You can check the person's fears, trust triggers, resistant patterns. Do you understand? For instance, it may mean that on your platform, nobody will go and be using, nobody must upload Google picture. If you have a yam on your farm, don't go and upload picture of yam from Google. Don't edit your pictures. Snap your yam as they look and post them. That's because you know that some of your personas, their trust behaviors is that they like seeing things that are real. It means that if anybody wants to upload a picture of their produce on your software, you don't want anybody to put anything AI. So that means your application will not have any editing feature at all. It's going to post as it is. Please just give me a second. Give me a minute. I will just be back. Okay. Thank you very much. So when you do all of this, it informs what you're building. It informs how you build. And like I said, when I said what doesn't come from the market does not go to the market, now you understand. Now imagine you are able to build this thing for this person. And again, don't forget your personal is not just out of the box. You have done customer, you've done data, you've done Google, you've created questions. They've answered it. It's in the midst of that to be able to create this kind of persona properly, to know the average person you're looking at. You may not collect age, but you already get it by profession or anything. Moving on. So that's how to create personas. You can go as far as you want to go. You can check the emotional drivers, the commander. You can try to go into their family size. What it will guide, it will even guide your UI design. It will guide your copywriting. It will guide your product features. The UI UX person, this kind of product now, you don't need to stress yourself. It's a green color application already. It's a green color application. That's what appeals to them. How products are listed, how they are measured, how you categorize them neatly. This is yam, this is vegetable, this is pepper, how you package, how you store. And you can put the question. In fact, you can have them to put some things that matter. Which date did you harvest this thing? Blah, 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 blah. So a lot of information you need to put. Moving on. Whew, I hope we can finish this. So that's how to do personas. I did want to talk you through this thing and just officially. That's why I took you. That's what we did here. We did it for 4 different people. Moving on. So how you now positioning is about how you want to be perceived. We will deal with the uh, branding. Okay, your branding. Now positioning is now your branding. Like I said, your branding is not just logo and color. Your branding, they know you that you are the type of person that goes to the market to talk about your product. That's the part of your branding. Your positioning, how you want people to know you for, what you want to be seen as, what your application does. Okay. Um, Let me not waste time here. So let's go to brand equity. Brand equity is the commercial value of a company. The commercial value you derive from consumer perception. For instance, let me explain this thing. It's very simple. Your products can be FarmHub. You see, you can have one product, but that single product can be 1,000 brands. There is a keyword here. Let me bolden it. There is a keyword here. There's a keyword here. And it says everything to what I'm about to say. Consumer perception. Consumer perception is the importance of branding. Okay, everyone here, let's do a quick one. What does both mean to you? I'm going to ask one simple question. I mentioned a product because perception. So, what does both mean to you? I want answers, at least 10 different people. Personal, what does both? When you hear both, the both card that all of us used to order, what does it mean to you? Everybody? I'm waiting. Quickly, 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 for time's sake. Somebody said taxi, that's a brand. So, how you perceived both is taxi. So, both may not know, but they have a brand out there that is seen as a taxi. Somebody said ease of transportation, that's another brand. You see what we call branding. So don't think branding is your logo. Branding is the consumer perception. How people see you is your brand. So if 10 people sees you 10 different ways, you have 10 brands. Somebody said, you see, all of these things are so whatever you are doing, whatever you are communicating, how people see it is your brand. To someone, that's a personal thing too. It doesn't matter what you're doing. What people are seeing you to be doing is what your brand is. And that's why sometimes, no matter what you are, you must also spend energy communicating what your brand is so that people will not perceive you wrongly. Easy ride. I told somebody something. I said, InDrive is doing fine, but the kind of communication they are doing with their Don Jazzy, with their Rolls Royce, with their all of that, Even though it's communicating affordable luxury, in case they may not know, to some people it may communicate exclusive luxury that this is not for us. Some people may believe that, well, this one is right for those who have big cars. Of course, for those who are using drive well, you don't mind. You know what it is already. But to some people, it may be communicating the wrong thing. So the marketing person has to be very careful of what you're trying to do. And Nigerians don't like deceiving themselves. So don't be too good to be true. I know you will not use Rolls Royce to carry me. I know you will not use Kenya on a normal day. So this one is just marketing. Plus, if I leave your Rolls Royce now, I'm back to my normal behavior. So nobody may really. So in case you don't know, some marketing strategies, if you don't understand what your personas are and the brand you're communicating, you may say the wrong thing. And you may be spending money. Okay? Good. So it's consumer perception. So a brand may think, so you are FarmHub, but to someone, you are seamless delivery of produce. To someone, you are like, thank God, I don't used to sell until FarmHub came. Now I can sell all my goods. To someone, that's your brand. So positioning is what does that. And that is done by one, your brand image, of course, your logo and all of that. And then your behavior, the behavior of your marketers, your agents, everyone. Then your brand identity, that has to do with your colors, your logos, all of those things. Brand awareness, how you push it. Brand loyalty, brand association, the kind of brands you partner with. So in your partnering, don't just say, um, ah, this guy is doing storage. Come and do storage for me. What is that brand known for? What if that brand has already been known for, if they store, their stuff will spoil? Or of course, they even store well, but by the time they're delivering, if you give them 10 yams, it's 8 yams they will store. I remember when they used to work for Jumia, whenever they store, we don't get their product. So check and it's not just about a good name alone. I don't like the examples I'm using. It could just be what their brand is about. You get the idea now. Uber had to build Uber Black for VIPs. For instance, what I told someone is the main selling point of your application is that you can haggle the prices. Is that I can want to take ride from Ikorodu to maybe Bega, and it's 10.5. I can reduce mine to 8.5. So your main brand is that we can negotiate. So makes it affordable. So why are you selling it with Rolls Royce and celebrities and G Wagon? It still doesn't add up to me. But if it's working for the brand, then that's fine. Maybe I just need to adjust my thinking. It's not one way that leads to the market. You get. So, but be careful of your communication that it stays in line with your brand, whichever way. So, I think that's basically what I want to do. Before we do that, I would like to speak to a go-to-market plan. Okay, don't worry, forget the spaces I'm skipping. I've talked about them. Okay, just hold on. Yes, we've talked about all this place. So, okay, good. Go-to-market plan is simple. As a product marketer, you know all of this already. You know your target audience. You've done the study. You know all of them. Now, you're not going to go to the market. So, a go to market plan is the way in which a company brings the product to market. So, it's not just a single plan, it contains target audience, it contains marketing plan, it contains sales strategy. Hold on. I think there's something I didn't do here. Let me change my text to black. There are texts here. Oh, okay, I've seen it. There are texts here. Sorry, just a moment. Okay. Okay, this works. Thank you. So, in creating a marketing strategy, your audience goes through 5 different steps. Awareness. By awareness, it means they want to know what you're doing. Then consideration, okay, they are thinking of taking action on your product. Conversion, that's when they take action. If they download your application or they start using it. Then loyalty, they stay longer on your application. They don't leave your application, your business. The next is advocacy. They talk to someone about your business. That's all. Awareness, consideration. Awareness is when they get to see your business. Consideration is when they start using the business. Conversion is when consideration is when they decide to use your business or your application, when they decide to download it. Conversion is when they download and start using. Loyalty is when they stay longer on the application. Then advocacy. Advocacy is where they now use the application for the longest. And they start, not just for the longest, advocacy is when they start talking about the application themselves. Farmer to farmer. Have you heard about FarmHub? Hey, download that thing. Download that thing. Is working. Do you understand? And you will, so it's like an e-commerce platform, but for farm produce. So it will work well. Before we round off this, we're literally at the end. Um, there's another part of this that will be under product launch. Okay, there's another part of this marketing that will be under product launch. So the product launch includes three different things that we would see, and I would show you. We are looking at. So this is pre-launch. It will include business strategy, yes, target audience, marketing plan, and sales strategy. That's all. It's easy. So, like I said, and but before we go there, let me just go back to the content type to use for this audience. So, for audience awareness, this is under product launch. I don't want to go into this in this session. When we get to product launch session, we can now go into, of course, how to now create a full marketing strategy for each audience: SEO, SEM, social media marketing, influencer marketing, viral campaign, direct mail, looking at emails, and all of that, events. So, but I wanted us to pull that out of marketing, out of course. So the things I want to cover are the forces, and then STP: segmenting, targeting, and positioning. So let me assume that we stop at branding for this week. Towards the end of this course, we will go heavily into product launch. So we go to pre-launch and launch. Those are two different communications we must not merge with marketing. So before we round up again, I would zoom back into the brand equity to finish up. So like I said, brand equity is the P part of STP. We've talked about segmenting, we talked about targeting, talked about positioning. Okay, targeting helps. Segmenting is you knowing different areas. I've showed you here. Let's not forget. Segmenting is where we did this. You are knowing your admissible, whatever, obtainable. Okay, and then you have named different users of your application in their different groups. Now, under targeting is where we are talking about persona. This one, you know them to the core. Positioning is now when we are discussing to your branding. Okay, positioning, we are sticking to your branding. Under branding, and I told you guys, um, we talked about brand equity. So this is like a sum up. For brand equity, you need to be very conscious of what you are to different brands. And that is why in your product, you are taking B2B is business to business, B2C is business to consumers, business to customers, anyways. So that B2C, under brand equity, you are ensuring that you are positioned rightly. Positioning is very key. It's the difference between let me just say this joke, this joke, as a joke. You know, someone that you're trying to date somebody, but you're positioning as best friend. Do you understand? So the Kukuma friend zone you there. So ensure that your positioning is communicating what your brand are. So be careful to not pack too much that you are not. That's why I say define your product. You are an application connecting farmers to the market. So don't turn yourself to a farm. Don't, because people start requesting, do you guys have farm in Osogbo? You now want to go and buy five pieces of land, 5 acres. So brand positioning is very, very important. Concerning the slides, you can speak to your admin. They will communicate that with you. So thank you very much, guys. We will move into the later part of this, which will be at the tail end of this course, which will be about product launch and how to go to market. Yes, it also will be a 1 week solid one. And we'll also go deeper into this next week, where you'll be learning all about how to get your requirements and how to put your team together to deliver on your features. Thank you very much again for being a part of this class. Sincerely, we appreciate you. Again, we apologize for the delay in the beginning due to the technical difficulties we had, but it's done now. Thank you very much. I do have a great weekend. See you next week.